When did this happen? Austin Reeves has dominated headlines as the role player who has made a leap to NBA stardom this season, and he deserves it. But while he's been getting the attention, something just as big is happening in Chicago. The Bulls were ripped for a recent trade, but now Josh Giddey looks like a prize, a triple-double machine, a legitimate NBA All-Star. And he's not alone here. OKC is already loaded for the future, we know this, but now they have a real big three. Chet Holmgren has gone from elite role player to just elite. With his improved offense and overall skill set, he could be Wemby's biggest rival for the next decade. And somehow here, the NBA has an even bigger surprise. The Washington Wizards have been awful. They need young talent, which is why Deni Avdija has been making them look dumb. In Portland, Deni has exploded into an athletic force, a potential franchise cornerstone. So the question now isn't just who has improved here. Instead, it's which one of these players will take a leap again, from role player to real stardom that honestly none of us saw coming. So let's start with the question, when did Josh Giddey start getting mentioned in the same breath as Michael Jordan? I never thought this would happen, but against the Sixers, Josh Giddey became the first Bull since 1989 Michael Jordan to record a back-to-back triple-doubles. Wow, this was a man who in OKC was written off as a role player, but now 23.1 points, 10 rebounds, 9.1 assists per game, and he just turned 23 years old. Let's put these stats into context. Josh Giddey versus Cade Cunningham. Who do you think would win in terms of just pure numbers? Cade is 1 year older. He is supposed to be the potential superstar here, but Josh Giddey's stats are better. Nobody saw this coming, including me. So how did we miss it? Short answer, his own team gave up on it. To begin his career, Josh Giddey was a number 6 pick who looked like he had all-star potential. Year 2 Josh averaged 16.6, 7.9, and 6.2 a game. Those numbers are comparable to year 2 Russell Westbrook. But then came the life-changing moment. The allegations that messed with his head and made the internet turn on him. Year 3 Josh Giddey saw a major down year, and just like that, no one believed in Josh anymore. Except for the Chicago Bulls. In a move that a lot of people hated, Chicago moved Alex Caruso for Josh Giddey. The Bulls could have gotten first-round picks for Alex Caruso. Instead, they gave Josh the second chance he needed. Because while the rest of the world saw a scandal, Chicago saw something massive. Giddey was playing out of position. With an MVP at the point for OKC, Josh was playing minutes at power forward. But for the Bulls, a question still remained. What happened if the ball was in Josh's hands and he was given the chance to run the show? As it turns out, a 6'8" point guard with absolutely elite basketball IQ and eyes in the back of his head is a lethal weapon. Against the 76ers, let's dive in and watch how in control Josh is out of the pick and roll. Here, he uses his body to keep Kelly Oubre away as Embiid collapses, and then easy floater. On this next play, we see his dribble package, but also look at this pass. A filthy one-handed corner find for an open 3. Most players are not able to see the angles that Josh is able to see. And also, most players, even point guards, never learn to control the game the way Josh is already doing. Let's fast forward to the fourth quarter here. Lights are the brightest. You may notice that the Bulls have been losing big all game, but now, down 3 late, the Sixers just don't know how to guard Josh Giddey, and he takes advantage of that confusion, coasts by everyone, and makes an open layup. But now, most important play of the game. Josh is full of confidence. He wants the ball in his hands, and on a drive to the basket, Embiid has to help, which means game winner for Nikola Vucevic. The Chicago Bulls are 6-1. They are easily the biggest surprise team in the NBA, and Josh Giddey is the heart and soul of this squad. The fact that he was just paid and is only getting better shows us he wants to be great. But with that said, does another man on this list have an even better chance at true superstar. But guys, before we continue, I'm very excited to say that this video is sponsored by SeatGeek. With the NFL season officially in full swing, I know I want to be going to some games, and that is where SeatGeek has us covered. Anyone, not just new users, anyone can use my promo code Korzemba10 for 10% off their order on SeatGeek. Sports, festivals, concerts, you name it, SeatGeek has you covered, as SeatGeek also rates tickets on a scale of 1 to 10. Green being good, red being bad, so look for those green dots. No matter how many times you bought tickets before, again, using promo code Korzemba10 is going to get you 10% off of your order. So what are you waiting for? Open your SeatGeek app and use my promo code Korzemba10 to get 10% off of your order right now. This offer is only available for a limited time. That is code Korzemba10 for 10% off of your order at SeatGeek. Thank you again to SeatGeek for sponsoring today's video, and now let's get back into today's video. Because can we say that Chet Holmgren is actually the most important young player in basketball? I know, what a statement, but Chet can be the difference maker between one Thunder title or the Thunder becoming the NBA dynasty of the 2020s. Because if Chet Holmgren takes the leap to an all-NBA talent, OKC will already have a big three that seems impossible to match. Shai is just 27. He's currently the betting favorite to win MVP again this year, and the Thunder not only won 68 games last season, they have started this season off 8-0. The ceiling is truly the roof. And speaking of Shai, here's what he had to say about Chet Holmgren.
Everyone in the world that watches basketball can see that Chet isn't even a fraction of the player he's going to be.
Shane went on to explain why he thought this, telling us, on top of all the things that are God-given and you can't teach, he has work ethic and he's driven and he wants way more for himself. A scary thought for the rest of the league, especially when we consider this. Has the NBA world been sleeping on Chet because of Victor Wembanyama's alien-like dominance? If Wemby did not exist, would we see Chet as the league's current unicorn center? He's 7'1". He's making 40% of his threes this season. He can dribble, he can pass, he can defend multiple positions. If you drop Chet in the 1990s, he would be the alien. And a leap in Chet's game is happening right in front of our eyes. Because back in the 2025 playoffs, the seeds for this leap were planted. After only playing in 32 regular season games, Chet played in 23 playoff games and led the Thunder in rebounds per game, blocks per game, and finished third in points per game. Without Chet Holmgren on their roster, does Oklahoma City still win the 2025 title? You may think different. I would argue no, they do not. The finals came all the way down to a game 7, and in that game 7, Chet had 18 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 blocks. Shai knows how valuable Chet is, because on top of all of this, Chet also had the highest on-off plus-minus of any starter during OKC's title run. But as we know, there is a difference between an elite starter who knows his role and an actual all-NBA star in the current league. So in the first game of this year's season, did we see that star potential in play? The defense is already there. It is his offense that is going to help Chet make the leap. And on the first basket of the season, we saw a big body play by Chet. Then on play 2, let's watch as Chet isos Kevin Durant and hits KD with a mini fadeaway that would make Kevin Durant himself proud. Chet has been in his offensive bag, and throughout this entire game, he was also splashing threes, but I want to highlight his finishing. Chet's touch around the rim is top tier. Every season of his career, he shot over 70% around the basket, and this season is no exception. We know it is extremely rare for a 7'1" big man to have the ability to score from anywhere. We also know Shai is the MVP of this squad. J-Dub is already an all-star. If Chet takes this leap, how does anyone beat this team? They might not be able to. We will soon find out. But for now, let's finish with the actual most unexpected player on this list. As we have to wonder here, when did Deni Avdija become an all-star? 24.1 points, 6 rebounds, 3.9 assists per game for a man who hasn't turned 25 yet? Those are not just promising numbers, they're borderline all-NBA level wing stats. Incredibly impressive, but here's the question. Is this real? We have to remember the Washington Wizards completely gave up on Deni, but we have seen players use trades and their new situations as fuel to tap into their full potential. And Deni, he was just third in Eurobasket in scoring this summer behind just Luka and Giannis, and has been using that newfound summer confidence to torch NBA defenses. Now, to be fair to Washington, they felt like Deni did not fit their timeline, and they did get young players and picks back for that trade. But I don't know if they thought Deni was going to become become this good, because here's where things get crazy. Last season on Portland, Deni only averaged 16.9, 7.3, and 3.9 in around the same minutes played per game. I think we know that when players usually take a leap, it's because either their usage soars or their minutes skyrocket. Neither of those stats has really changed for Deni. Instead, we have just seen a transformation of pure ability. There is one thing that stands out above everything else, and that is his transition scoring. Deni is shockingly fast for his height. That pops out on screen immediately, and he has become a force on the fast break, averaging 1.26 points per possession in transition situations, while he also has a 73% true shooting percentage in transition. Both of those numbers are up big time from last year. And in ISO situations, same story, points per possession and shooting both up. Now we may be wondering though, is this just a hot start? But we find the answer to that if we look at the end of last season. How a player ends the year in the modern NBA is very important. With the play-in game, a lot less teams are tanking, and those games are actually sometimes more competitive than early season games. And in March and April, Deni ended the year averaging 24.9 points, 10.6 rebounds, and 5.5 assists per game, which means the signs for us were there. And Portland has been another surprise team, currently 4-3, 7th in the West, with a young roster that looks very promising. So our final question of this video, how high is Deni's new ceiling? And there we have it. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy this video, I think you'll enjoy this video right here on the NBA receiving a harsh wake-up call. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much for supporting. You are awesome. We all know it. And as always, have an awesome day and peace.